Oh, when we get to measure spirit and born again, and we'll walk in the light of God.
The other day I was driving and I saw a bumper sticker that said, "The best things in life aren't things." And as I've been thinking about this pandemic, if you would have told me on March 13th, after our last Mass when we locked the doors, that we would not be having another public Mass till June the 17th, I would have bought the bridge in Brooklyn. I would have never thought that we would have to be separated from the Eucharist and from coming together for so many months. And if you're like me, if there's been a blessing in this period of quarantine, of isolation, it's been putting things in perspective. Things that we took for granted. Things that all of a sudden take on a new power. You know, we can give lip service to the idea of how important our families are, how important our health is, how important our life projects are. But in this period of time of disruption, when all of us have had to make major changes in our routines, some things have emerged. Families having dinner together. All of a sudden, everybody's home and being able to praise God for those blessed people in our lives. Being able to just have time together. Families watching Mass together and talking about the homily or something that struck them in ways that they would not have. You know, the pandemic began in the early weeks of the Lenten season. And it's interesting that the gospel for today is the gospel of Ash Wednesday, where we're called to a purification, a renewal of trying to get things straight in our lives, getting our priorities right, leaving the world of evil to embrace the light of the risen Christ. And Easter came and went to an empty church. But in the course of these weeks, these words call us to how important it is to stay the course in our spiritual journeys. And through prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, we become a better person. As we return now, as things begin to reopen, we are a different church, a different community. I can't wait to hear some of the spiritual breakthroughs that many of you have experienced in this period of isolation, of coming close to the power of Christ and seeing what a difference faith makes. I've been watching all these weeks of people just walking around the church just to want to be close to it. I've heard remarkable stories of people praying together, of having to spiritually connect with people that normally at the time of death or illness we would be right there, finding new ways of witnessing the gospel of the Lord. And we have this wonderful first reading. It's this handing on of the future from Elijah to Elisha. Elijah, to this very day, is one of the most venerated people of the Hebrew Scriptures. He's fondly recalled at every Seder meal, at every Passover dinner, waiting for Elijah to come. And when he handed the mantle of authority to Elisha, he told him, "You have to trust in God." And of signs of great things, Elisha says, "Can I get a double serving, a double helping? I need twice as much from God than I'm getting right now." You know, we have to trust in the Lord in this time of enormous uncertainty. You know, hopefully the virus will continue to weaken. There'll be more and more return to some of the normal patterns. We're dealing with enormous civil unrest in our nation at this time. We've never needed to trust in the Lord more than we need to trust in the Lord now. And so as communities of faith begin to come together all over the world, there's one thing the pandemic has taught us, is that COVID is an equal opportunity offender. It doesn't make a difference if you live in Pakistan or Glenview. We're all, as human beings, vulnerable. But if we trust in the Lord, if we deepen that trust in his love, we will face whatever it is that we need to face. People have told me over and over again, I always loved the Eucharist. I love the Eucharist now more than ever.